We're live.
Good morning, everybody. This is Rich Armstrong. We're here on Chuckwalla Road in Cottonwood, Arizona. We're looking at a curve-billed thrasher. Chuckwalla Road is where I lead a field trip for the festival every year for the last 5 years. It is a 2-block road that bumps up against what I call grassland scrubbies, and it is the best place in Arizona, in the Verde Valley, to see curve-billed thrasher, which you're looking at right now. I don't know how well you see it, but you're looking at it, and cactus wren. Those are the two birds. They have expanded their range from southern Arizona, where they're very common, and they're here in the Verde Valley, and this is the best spot. Now, those of you that have seen a curve-billed thrasher in Texas, this bird is a different subspecies of curve-billed thrasher and may someday actually be split from the curve-billed thrasher of Texas, and it could be a new bird sometime. What you're hearing right behind you somewhere is the rant, 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 rant of the cactus wren, and the thrasher just flew. So we have the cactus wren behind us, and if Isaac will pan here, this is a 2-block road that starts down there, and we usually just walk from there all the way to the other end, and we typically get 35, 40 species. This is also the best place that I have found most reliable to find canyon towhee and white-winged dove. It's also an excellent place for northern cardinal, for Bullock's oriole, which we've seen about 3 or 4 of waiting for the thing to start today, and all of the normal birds as well. We get Verde here and phainopepla, hooded oriole. There's an oriole feeder right over here that doesn't have an oriole right now. And this cactus wren is right behind us, and I can't see him, but he's in there somewhere.
Right at the top?
Could be at the top, I don't know. But these wrens are such delightful birds. The cactus wren, of course, is the state bird of Arizona. It's the largest wren in the United States of the wren species, and is a delightful bird. Wrens are just happy birds, and this guy will sing all day long. There's a bunch of them on this street, and that is always delightful. Unfortunately, we had some birds sitting up before we got here. We had Bullock's oriole, and what is that guy? There's the canyon towhee in the tree right there. We'll walk a little bit in this direction. Maybe he can get this guy in. Canyon towhee used to be just called brown towhee and was split from the towhee in California, and there he goes. We get too close and they fly.
We saw him.
But Chuckwalla Road, I discovered it a number of years ago, and the sun is behind you the entire time you're walking, and the group that comes out here has always enjoyed this part of the trip. We have 2 species of orioles here, hooded oriole as well. I've already seen one of those today, but Bullock's is much more common. We have little birds here like Verde and Lucy's warblers. Ash-throated flycatcher we've already seen this morning, and phainopeplas are normally around here somewhere. Let's walk up back to the top. We have quail, the Gambel's quail, actually sit up on branches out there and give either their one-note high-pitched call, or sometimes they actually go Chicago, Chicago. I don't hear any right now, but they are very common here. There goes a thrasher across, and there goes house sparrow. I wish we could see the cactus wren sitting up here, but I don't know where he's singing from. He's just singing continuously. This seems to be the better spot down here right now than up on top where normally I get things. There goes the thrasher with something in his beak. He just flew across. He got something there. And that's just a house finch on the feeder. If you haven't seen a house finch in the Verde Valley, you haven't birded at all. The most common bird of all in feeders. Mourning doves are abundant here. White-winged dove is a specialty here that I haven't seen this morning. Of course, we've only been here a few minutes. And Eurasian collared doves have also arrived here. So getting 3 species of doves here is very normal. Trying to think of some of the other birds that you might see. Oh, we had a mockingbird out here just going nuts this morning, but he was too far for the camera to see. Those are just house finches going by. There's 2 house finches sitting up there. We don't pay much attention to house finches even when we're on the trip, field trip, because we got a lot of other birds to pay more attention to. So what we do on the field trip is we start at one end, park a van at the other end, and we walk. It takes about an hour and 20 minutes because we're going slow and birding the whole time. Northern cardinals are pretty common here. Woodhouse scrub jays, which used to be called Western scrub jay until they got split from the California version that's now called California scrub jay, and ours is now the Woodhouse scrub jay. And they're fairly common here as well. Let's see, what else can I talk about?
Say hi to Claire from Phoenix.
Hi, Claire from Phoenix. We had a Western kingbird. I showed people how to put it in the scope at 9 miles away and zoom in. I have a very good scope, and we can see a Western kingbird all that way. By the way, I'm Rich Armstrong. I am the field trip leader for the Northern Arizona Audubon Society. We have a wonderful website, northernarizonaAudubon.org. To go to that and find out all the information. We are a sponsor of the Verde Valley Birding Festival. I am sort of as I said, the field trip leader for Northern Arizona Audubon, so I organize the field trips and lead most of the field trips. I have led, I think, 4 field trips for the festival every year for the last 7-8 years now. I've also given a speech, Tales of a Beginning Birder last year. I was going to do a workshop this year called The Birds of Yavapai County, and that, of course, did not happen, but we're doing our best with some virtual birding here.
Say hi to Dick from Louisville.
Hi, Dick from Louisville. As you can hear, the cactus wren is just chortling happily right behind Isaac here somewhere. And unfortunately, he's somewhere where I can't. Yeah, that's him. Okay, see if you can get him in the camera there. He's sitting right at the top of a deciduous tree, which is an odd spot for a cactus wren. They're normally sitting on cactuses or low bushes, but he's right up there. There's an Anna's hummingbird sitting right at the top of a bush to my left. Just did a little display flight. We have Anna's and black-chin hummingbird here. They are both fairly common. The Anna's is more common. Anna's hummingbirds are in the Verde Valley year-round, so everybody keeps hummingbird feeders out in the winter as well as the rest of the year. The black-chin hummingbirds arrive in March and stay here through August, and that's exciting. We have a hummingbird festival here in Sedona, Arizona, usually the first weekend in August, and we have banding at our house. And the excitement this week was my wife found a hummingbird with a band on its leg that was a dead hummingbird, unfortunately, but had a band on its leg, and it had been banded at our house as an adult. It had flown all the way to Mexico and come all the way back to our yard. And there is a cactus wren on the ground there. These are just walked into the... And that's a thrasher singing that I just hear.
Just got buzzed. Bill just got buzzed.
Right behind us, and he stopped. And we had a canyon towhee sitting up nicely. I wanted to start with a bird in the camera, and Isaac had one on a Bullock's oriole, and it flew. He had one on a canyon towhee, and it flew. He had one really close on a thrasher, and it flew. So you end up getting stuck looking at me instead of at these birds.
Hey, Rich,
Oh, now this is a thrasher nest right here in this cactus. He just flew. Excuse me. He just flew away from the nest. I have no idea if there are babies in there or not, and I'm sure through the camera it just looks like a lump of grasses in a cactus. It always amazes me how birds land on a cactus like this which has 3 million thorns per square inch, I think, and not hurt their feet, not hurt their bodies crawling through these cactuses. But obviously curve-billed thrashers and cactus wrens do it because they know a Cooper's hawk can't do it, and therefore they're safe inside the nest.
Question is, what kind of thrasher was he?
Curve-billed thrasher.
Curve-bill.
We have mockingbird is technically a thrasher, so we really have mockingbirds, curve-billed thrashers, and crystal thrashers. I have seen crystal thrasher here, but it's very rare in this particular spot where curve-billed thrashers are abundant. And that was a mockingbird I just heard out in the distance. And I hear an ash-throated flycatcher way over to the right. And yes, we don't get to go out in these scrubbies, but you really don't need to. You just walk along this fence line and see all of the birds, usually quite well. And of course, I have a telescope. I put perched birds in a scope. Everybody takes turns looking at them, and that works out really well. That's a mockingbird that I hope you hear singing off in the distance. And there's a western kingbird flying. You're not going to see him. He kept going. House finch singing behind us. And Isaac's pointing at something, which I...
Right in the top of the cactus there.
Oh, that's the thrasher right there at the top of the cactus. He's sitting on a cactus, well, standing on a cactus, I should say, with his feet probably right on thorns somehow. And how he doesn't get hurt by that, I have no idea, but they obviously know how to do it. Maybe we're too close to his nest and he's waiting for us to do something before he or she flies back. Many birds, you can't tell the difference between the males and the females. Curve-billed thrashers are like that. The male and the female look the same. The Bullock's oriole that we had earlier, the males and the females look dramatically different in orioles, but not in curve-billed thrashers or cactus wrens, or actually pretty much any wrens like that.
Say hello to the folks in New Jersey that are watching.
All right, we have folks in New Jersey.
Scottsdale, too.
And that curve-billed thrasher is just sitting there. He has a gorgeous yellow eye. I'm sure you can't see in the camera unless Isaac is really, really good at this. But his eye is yellow, his bill is curved. He has spots on his chest. He's kind of difficult to tell from a Ben Dyer's thrasher, but then we don't have Ben Dyer's thrashers here in the Verde Valley, so we don't have to really worry about that. And you can tell by the songs as well. And he makes this two-note call during most of the season that is high-pitched and delightful, and you hear that all over the Phoenix area and all over this street when you come later in the year. So we're going to back off and let him go to his nest. Up on the wire, we have just the mourning dove. As I said, mourning doves are very common here, and we have 3 birds sitting over there that are all house finches. You have to look at a lot of house finches to find better birds. You have to look at a lot of white-crowned sparrows to find the better sparrows. And you have to look at a lot of goldfinches usually to find some of the other smaller birds like verdens and yellow warblers and Lucy's warblers and things like that. And I have a white-crowned sparrow sitting up actually, and he's too far away to see. And I have not seen a cardinal this morning, which is a little unusual. They are pretty common on this road as well. And since it's a two-block road at the end of a street, not very far from downtown Cottonwood, but you don't really get many cars driving by as one goes by here this morning because we're out here at the end.
Time, guys, you can...
Okay, that's it for now. See you all in 15 minutes.